and as you can probably tell, we are doing a weekend reading vlog, and we're doing a 48-hour readathon. I think I'm mad. I think I'm absolutely mad, because my last 24-hour readathon, I struggled. As you could probably tell if you watched the vlog, I struggled. I didn't stick to my TBR because I was absolutely worn out, exhausted, and I ended up, I think, reading one physical book and the rest were all on my Kindle. So I'm a bit worried, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried because it's 48 hours. I obviously am planning to sleep. I am not making the mistake I did last time and only like getting about 2.5, maybe 3 hours at a push, because I struggled to read. And so I am planning to sleep. I will get to what I'm planning to do with that in a minute. But this 48-hour readathon is going to be very hard to say. I wanted to do it as a theme just so I can read in a theme and maybe stick to it a bit better. So I wanted to do a spring theme, but obviously for me spring is a pretty cover, so that can be flowers on there or just a really general nice pretty cover, or romance, or both. So I have a few books planned, and I just realised one of them isn't in my... Let me get it. Right, I got it. Right, I'll do the books. First. So, firstly, we've got Scandalously Yours by Cara Elliott. This is a historical romance. This is needing to read because it was from my Go Fish TBR game, but it's only little. I'm gonna probably... I have a feeling I might have to read this first because the writing on here is extremely small, and I think as time goes by I will need daylight and to be like fully awake to do it. I'll either read this first or I'll read it during the day Saturday. But this is a historical romance. I'm slowly getting into it. I absolutely love the Bridgerton series, and I read 2 of the Bridgerton series so far. And I did read another book that wasn't a Bridgerton series, but it was historical romance, but it was like a Christmas theme, which I read for Christmas. So I do think I like the genre. However, this is very different to the books I've read, so we will see. I may absolutely read this and think, no, I'm hating it. It's probably just the Bridgerton series that I really like. But I do think I'm going to like it. It's a cute cover and it's romance, which is why I am planning to... Yeah, there's a romance theme here, to be honest, and yeah. So I also want to do this, The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros. I'm doing a Tandem Collector read-along for this, and I am currently on page 23. It hasn't got chapters, it's only short, but I thought this would be perfect to read for my 48-hour readathon because A, it's a short book, B, I'm nearly finished, and C, I'm getting so tizzled already. It's mangoes, which is very spring summery and all that, so I'm planning to read that. We also have We Just Clicked by Annabelle. Now, if you saw my April TBR, you would know that I have actually started already reading this. So I'm actually currently, because I still have a bookmark in it, I'm on page 186 and on chapter 17. So originally I was going to start from the start and read it, but I don't want to, because I remember when I started reading it I wasn't really vibing with it. I was at the bits that I was reading, I was rating it at 2-star. So I'm not going to start from the beginning, I'm going to start from where I left off. So I've only got this about 200 pages left. So I'm going to read from where I left off because I wasn't enjoying it, and unless the next half's brilliant, I've got a feeling that it might be a 2-3 star read, but I need to get it done because I need to get it done. So I think I'm going to focus on this first just so I can get it done and out of the way. Then we have the +1 pact. As you can see, sorry, the light's really got it. It's a really spring pretty cover. This is by Portia McIntosh, and basically it's self-explanatory by the title. These two singletons keep getting invited to weddings. They always get said, "Oh, bring a +1." They do not have a +1, and so they are at these weddings on their own, some Larry Deleuze, and kind of like thinking, why can I not have a date? So they do a pact that they will be each other's +1s to the weddings they've been invited on. But obviously they're going as just friends, but clearly that's not going to happen. This is my favourite trope. I love the fake dating trope. I absolutely love it. So this isn't a very long book, and I honestly think I'm going to breeze through it. I also want to sneak in this, From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, purely because I've been wanting to read it for so long, and I think because I got 48 hours, I can probably breeze through it. Now, this is fantasy romance, so there's still, like, it has got romance and quite a lot of romance from what I gathered. Okay, it's not the most prettiest covers like I'm trying to go with, but it has got flowers on. Well, it's got red leaves. It's springish, but it's romance. I really want to read it. I don't know whether I am going to read and finish this, but I would at least like to maybe get halfway. So I've got that. I have also got two like easy books to read. So I've got a graphic novel and I've got a manga. So I've got a manga which is The World's Greatest First Love, The Case of Ritsu Onodera. And it is basically Ritsu quits his job as an editor at his father's company and transfers to Marukora Publishing. And once he's there, he's assigned to do the stuff, but his boss happens to be his first love from high school. So yeah, I'm guessing there is some romance going on here. I like the illustrations. It's just black and white. It's really cool, and I really wanted to sneak in some graphic novels and mangas because I can breeze through them and it gives me a little bit of a break from full-on reading. And then I've also got this graphic novel, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me by Rosemary Valero O'Connell and Mariko Tamaki, and this is a sapphic queer graphic novel. Basically, all Freddie Riley wants is for Laura Dean to stop breaking up with her. So basically, they keep going on and off, on and off. I don't know much about it. I just know that the illustrations are beautiful. Like, literally it's pink, grey and black and white, and I love those colours. So that is the TBR plan. I do have a lot of romance cute books on my Kindle. I also have the second book of the Cinderella graphic novel that I read in my last 24-hour readathon. I've also got that on my Kindle. So if I need a break and I am really struggling with reading actual book, then I have got backups. I've got books on my Kindles to do, and I've got more graphic novels on there that I can do as well. But I think I can do it. I think as long as I get some sleep in and not stay up as late as I did in the last one, I might be okay. So sleeping plan. So I've decided that today, so this starts at 4 o'clock, so I've got half an hour before it starts. So this starts at 4 o'clock and it ends on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Should have said that at the start, never mind. And so my plan is to stay up till about between 2 and 4 a.m. and then go to sleep once I'm lagging, which is usually around 3. Go to sleep, set my alarm for 10 o'clock, so I've had quite a bit of sleep, and then focus on reading quite a lot on Saturday and stay up. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, do I go to bed early on Saturday and then wake up really early Sunday morning and read non-stop then? I'm not sure, because I am one of those people who I sleep better at like between 6 and 10 in the morning. That's my sleep. Like the rest of the night I'm like an insomniac, so I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to stay up as much as I can and just do the sleep that I know I have the best sleep at, or what. But I'm thinking to stay up quite late tonight and set my alarm late in the morning to recover, and then I'll either go to sleep at around 1 or 2 and set my alarm quite early Sunday morning, like 6 or 7, and then continue reading. That is my rough plan. It obviously depends how tired I am or how not tired I am, because I might be completely high on all of the sweets and junk food that I've been eating and I'm not tired at all, which could happen because I can get like that. But yeah, that's the plan. I don't know what book to start with. I think I'm going to start with this and just get it over and done with, and then probably read this because that would be really quick and done, and then I might start, I think I might then start this because it's short, and then give myself, yeah, I think I'll do that, give myself a break and probably read this manga, then I might start this. That's the plan. Let's get reading because I've been about 15 minutes chatting to you all. So come back from the supermarket and I have a little snack haul to show you, and yeah, we're doing 48 hours, so I'm gonna need to have some snacks to cover me for those 48 hours, and I'm also a big fat pig. So here is we've got Pringles sour cream and onion because they're the best and only yummy flavour. We've got salted Cara M&Ms because I absolutely love them at the minute. We've also got munchies. Self-explanatory, I love munchies. We have got my favourite Coca-Cola, which is Pepsi Max Raspberry. This is just for me. I'm not even taking it downstairs to share. This is just for me to keep myself going. And then I've also got caramel latte instant Starbucks coffee. I've wanted these for ages and they were only £1, so I finally have some coffee that I like. Also, on top of that, we've got this. I have one bag of Malteser teasers left, but I still have this massive big egg. And we also have this lovely box, which I am going to show you what's inside. So inside it looks like this, and if you open it up, get it, we have got Sweeties Pick and Mix, and I can tell you what's inside because I chose my own pick and mix. We have got Haribo Cola bottles, sour dummies, baby dolphins, strawberry pencil bites, and fizzy peach rings. They're all inside there. This is, I'm sure this was a $3.99 pouch, so it's like you only have 5 sweets involved, but you can, hello, a bit too zoomed in, but you can, there's different prices for different, like how many, so I think there's $3.99 and $5.99 goes up to 8 sweets you can choose from. And then it goes up a bit more, and it's like a 2-person sharer, and then it's like a family sharing one. So I got the small one just to try it out, and because it's just for me and I'm not sharing, so you know. But I actually found this through Maddie at Book Browsing Blog on BookTube. She had it for one of her 24-hour readathons, I think it might have been the Bookathon that she was doing, I can't remember. But I saw it, and because she's UK, which is where I'm from, I was like, yes, finally somewhere that I can like get and not have to pay an awful amount of shipping if it's coming from America. So I've got them. I have got all of the other stuff, plus I've got my Easter egg. I have got other like chocolate and biscuits in my little chocolate bag that's upstairs because my family don't eat chocolate because they're on a diet. I'm not. So yeah, the snacks are all sorted. I am ready. We're ready We're ready for the snacks at least. So yeah, exciting. I'm probably going to be, I'll be tired, but I'll be really hyper. I've got a feeling by the way that everything's going to go. My Pepsi Max raspberry. It's very nice. It's yum. I'm going to open this. I am going to carry on from where I last read from here, which is 186, and see how I get on. Book update. Finished it. To be fair, it didn't take me long, but my takeaway came, so of course I decided to devour that, and then I stayed downstairs for a bit because my daughter was due to room between 6 and 7. So I actually literally had 2 pages left before she ran, so quickly spoke to her and just finished the 2 pages. I'm not going to do a full review of this, I would do it at the end, but it did pick up in the halfway point. However, it still wasn't fantastic. I like the fake dating trope, I do. What I don't like is the social media stuff that gets involved, and this is what this was fake dating through Instagram influencers, and I just didn't like that. I prefer the fake dating where you then fall in love. So yeah, I think without the humour and like the family dynamics in this book, it would have been a 2-star. This is gone up, but only by 3 stars, but I will go fully in depth with what my thoughts and feelings are at the end of this video, just because then I can do it all together. So I am going to start the +1 pack, just because this is also fake dating, but I know I will enjoy this more, and it's only a short book, and yeah, I'm gonna read that, finish it, and see where I feel in the next book. So finished this one. It was just one of those feel good, happy, quick books. It was really good. It was your typical fake dating, then they fall in love kind of scenario. Yeah, it was just an easy, quick, makes you smile book. I will talk a bit more about it when I do my wrap-up video, but yeah, it was good. I am going to now dive into this manga just for something a little bit quick and easy, and then I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do next, but I'll work out once I read this. Finished. No idea what went on at all. No clue. But it's over. I don't know what book to read. I'm tempted to start it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. don't know what to say. I think for the first time ever, a book has made me rendered speechless. Hi. So I realised that I haven't really done any sort of update since I last left you with me slightly speechless over that ending of From Blood and Ash. So as you saw, I finished that. Within 10 minutes of finishing it, my parents came home from being out, so I caught up with them and just checked out, just chatted about how the day went and everything. And it was also a good way for me to gather my thoughts, because I had a lot of thoughts, and it also gave me a chance to just write everything down on my phone. And yeah, so I did that. I needed to have a little bit of a break from reading, and also just, like I said, gather my hot thoughts, because I was just like, holy shit. So I went and jumped on BookTube and watched a live show, because the booktubers that run the book club Phase and Glaze, which I do talk about in a lot of my videos, they were doing a live show chat about the book that we all read in March, which was A Dark and Hollow Star. So I watched that, quite shocked at how many people didn't enjoy the book. I actually loved it, but everyone has different opinions. So I watched that, and I made dinner. I had my leftover Chinese, because I'm gonna have a lot of junk food this weekend, just because it's easier. And then I spoke to my daughter. It was quite quick and brief, which is a little bit upsetting, so we won't go into that. But I then went and read this. I read some of it. I don't know where I was, but I read some of it, and I just read the last lot of it. This is the Collective Voices Read Along with Tandem Collective. It was really good. It's not my usual book I would read, but it covers so many topics, and it's one of those books that it's one of those books where you're constantly thinking with everything that you're reading, but you continue thinking about it all once you've finished. And it's one of those books where I just want to know how the little girl ends up. Like, I want to know, did she do everything she wanted to do? Did she have an easy life? All those questions I had, and it's one of those books that's going to stay with you. So I read that, and then I decided just to give myself a break from full-on reading to pick up this graphic novel, which is Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. I wasn't expecting this. So it's your YA romance. Obviously it's LGBTQI representation, which is brilliant, but I didn't expect it to be. To be honest, it reminded me of my relationships when I was a teenager, in my 16s to 18s, how you are completely blind with love. Like, you meet someone and you think you're completely out of their league, but for some strange reason they see you and like you, and you get in that relationship, and it doesn't matter what they do, whether it's good or bad, you just let it happen, because that's what happens when you have your first love and all that. And this is what this approach, it was this sort of, I'll dive into more about it when I do my wrap up, but I didn't expect this book to have these sort of messages in it, but I love it. And I generally feel like teenage me and anyone in that age bracket would really do well with this, whether you're straight or queer. I am now going to start Scandalously Yours. As you can tell, it's a very tiny book, and the writing is minute. So I'm going to try and see if I can do this, because obviously as it gets later I start to get tired, light can get pretty naff, but I might just keep both lights on. But before I dive into that, I'm going to just give myself a little 30-minute break, as I'm in the middle of doing a giveaway on my Bookstagram, so I need to check on that because my phone's been non-stop with notifications of people commenting on there, and I should probably write everything down rather than leave it last minute and being a floozy over it. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to catch up on a bit of my Bookstagram and my book club group, and then I will start this. I'm hoping, depending on how I feel, I'm hoping to finish this and then go to sleep and then try and squeeze in another book. I really want to read book 2 of From Blood and Ash. We'll see how I go on with this and how I feel, because, you know, we're going into like a full 24 hours nearly, and we'll see. But I'm going to start this and we'll go from there. Hi. So this is probably going to be my last update video. The next time you'll probably see me will be when the 48-hour readathon's finished and my like wrap up with everything. But I just wanted to do a quick update on books. So I realised when I was editing some of this vlog video that I didn't actually tell you about one book that I did read that was on my Kindle. So I realised I was actually a day late of reviewing a book for a tour spot I was in. I thought it was for next Friday. It turned out it was this Friday. Luckily enough, I had already started reading it and it's on my Kindle, so it wasn't like I had a full book to read. So it was Ravenous Snakes by Untitled, which is book 2 of the Communion series. I was just shy under 80% on my Kindle, so I had just over 20% left of the book. So like I said, I was just right near the end. So yesterday when I realised I was 24 hours behind because I had a tag to say I was late in my review, so I quickly dropped everything and finished that. I'm not going to go into this book. Let's just say it was a waste of my time, but I will talk about it properly in my wrap-up vid. So yeah, I read that, so I forgot to obviously mention to you that I read and finished that. I also, as you last saw, I was just starting Scandalously Yours. I started that around just after 11 and I finished it about 1:10 in the morning. I did start this, so I read 2 chapters, but by the time 1:30 came, I was absolutely struggling. I thought, no, I need to get some sleep. So I went to sleep just after I think it was still on 1:30 actually. My head touched the pillow and went. I set my alarm for 8, I woke up then, and then I continued reading until I actually got up and got ready. So I'm currently on chapter 10, page 140. I'm absolutely loving it. Like, it's literally just picked up from where it left in book 1. I read up till then, that was about just before 11, and I just quickly got ready. I had some breakfast / lunch. And yeah, I actually don't feel tired. I feel really good. So I'm hoping to just knuckle down and read this. Will I get to finish it by 4 o'clock? I'm not sure. It's over 600 pages, but I did manage to read 600 pages in the space of a few hours. So I feel like if I just knuckle down and get on with it, which is not going to be hard to because I'm absolutely loving it as it is, I may do. If I don't finish it, I'm near enough going to be near the end of it, and I will probably finish it later on that evening or first thing in the morning. But I'm hoping to, like, my hope is to finish it, but if not, I would have had a considerate amount of it done. But yeah, so that's the books. So roughly I think this is book 9, which I think is really good. But yeah, so I'll come back with a complete, once this finishes, with my wrap up and my initial thoughts of each book I read. So that's when I probably will see you next. I am going to now dive back into the world of Poppy and Hawk because I love it. Hello. So it's me again, and it means that this 48-hour readathon has officially ended. I actually really enjoyed myself. I'm surprised. I thought I would be lagging a bit. I thought I may more in like Saturday evening struggle, but I feel okay. I think it helped that I have been dosed on a lot of coffee and a lot of caffeine in my Coke and all the sweets I've been eating because that makes me hyper, so I think that helped. Also, I did go to sleep earlier yesterday night, so I did have more sleep in me. I think if I stayed up late again like I did Friday night, I probably would struggle. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I've enjoyed myself. I've had fun. I've read some amazing books, and let's get into these amazing books. So you probably may have already worked out how many books I read, but just in case you don't, I read, if I can pick them up without them falling, 8 physical books and 1 Kindle. So I'm going to go and do the Kindle first because there's not much to say in that one. So the Kindle one that I read was Ravenous Snakes by Oinks Gold, put here. Like I said in my vlog clip, I completely forgot that my tour spot for the review was on Friday rather than next Friday like I thought it was. So yeah, I had already started reading the book, so I didn't have a full book to read. I just finished the end of it. Whereas in book 1, as much as I was confused, I did enjoy it. This book, book 2, was awful. Right, the thing is with tours, some tours you are let off with certain things. If you can't do a really good review, they ask you not to like tag the author and sometimes the tour themselves. Others would rather you let them know in advance and blah 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 like that. The tour that I'm in are quite strict in the nicest possible way. So obviously I got my dates completely wrong, so I had no chance to say to them, look, I'm not going to be giving a good review. So I've done the one thing that I've always been against saying and doing. I had to give a honest review, but not complete honest that I would usually do. So I was honest in my review in saying the bits that I didn't like, but I couldn't go into it, and I had to give a rating that I wouldn't actually rate it. So if I'm going to be totally honest, this book would probably be a DNF. But anyway, I'm moving on from that. I read it, I'm counting it as a book that I've read in this read along, but if I had a choice I would have pretty much not even talked about it. But moving on, I'm going to go in order with ratings at least while I'm here. So that would have been a DNF if I could, but I gave it 3 stars because I can't give it anything lower than 3 stars, but if I put it at a push it would have been 1 star. But moving on, so I read also The World's Greatest First Love, The Case of Ritsuo Onodera, which is a manga. This is actually 3 volumes in 1. So it is a queer relationship. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to be honest here. I gave this 1, maybe 2 stars at a push. I can't remember what I even gave it now. It was either 1 or 2. I felt this was very much an inappropriate relationship. Not this character, Masamune Takono. I'm just going to say Takuno because it makes it easier. He's horrible. He's manipulative. He's controlling. He forced himself on Ritsu. You know, there was a lot of times where I genuinely think there was sexual assault going on because Ritsu said no and stopped plenty of times, and this man carried on. This is not a healthy relationship. This is one of those books that I would say should be banned, and I am not someone who agrees with banned books. There's some that have been banned that I do not understand why. This, for me, should be. is unhealthy. It's portraying the wrong kind of relationship, straight or queer. I'm sorry, it doesn't even need any more things. Like, I kept reading it purely to see whether it changed, whether it was just like an initial little like moment, but no. We then are going to talk about We Just Clicked by Annabelle. This was 3 stars, and like I said on my vlog, I did get halfway. I was on chapter 17 or 18. Yeah, chapter 17 I think. I was halfway in this book, so I decided to read the other half. So when I first read this, the first part I read was a 2-star for me. I just really wasn't vibing with any of the characters. But the other half did pick up, so it boosted it to 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I think if it just stuck with the fake dating, I would have been okay with, like, you know, fake dating to lend them going to romance. But what I did not like about this, strangely, was the social media aspect, which, you know, me having a BookTube, me having a Bookstagram, you would think that would be something I like. But for me, I just did not like, I know everyone doesn't really show the full truth in social media. Everyone has a filter on and stuff like that, and even if they say there's no filter, more than likely is a filter from something else. I get all of that, and I know we all do it. But for me, just in this book, I just felt, how is this right? And I just, to me, it made me worry, like a teenager reading this, since it's a YA, I'm guessing, that it just portrays to me that, you know, you have to be fake to get attention and blah blah blah. That was what annoyed me in this book. It wasn't so much the romance part, it was just the social media aspects. And I thought, you know, I have no problems with influencers, and I especially have no problems with ones who are very honest as well. But there are some influencers out there that it's just for the money and all that, and it's just sort of, to me, it just approaches a really wrong thing of, you need to be fake, you need to be this and that. And to me, it's those sort of things that make people have eating disorders. It's those sort of things that make people think they have to be dolled up with makeup. And I know I do, but I don't do it for look or anything. I do it for me. Just you know, I like wearing makeup. It's not for anybody else's benefit apart from mine. It was just some of the bits on here, it really worried me, and I was just like, I don't like it. And I just feel like if there didn't have any of the like influencing Instagram things and social media things, if it was just the fake dating and then them falling in love, I would have really liked it. But because of the social media aspect and the stuff that I wasn't agreeing with, I thought, oh, and that's really what put me off of this book. Then we got The House and Manga Street with Sandra Cisneros. Obviously this was a tandem collective read along for the collective voices. I obviously had read some of it previously, so I just finished the rest of it. I really enjoyed this. It has a lot of topics on it. It has about race and sexism and, like, you know, pretty much the difference between how privileged white people are and how not for black people. You know, it's poverty and all these things. It had, for a little book, it was packed with everything. But it was done so beautifully. It was done really powerfully. And it's just one of those books that you just constantly question, and even after finishing it, even now, I'm still questioning things that have been brought up. It was really good. I gave this 3 stars, only purely because it didn't have any full massive stars, purely because of the topics, because they're not obviously enjoyable topics, and also because it's not my typical book. You know, it didn't have the aspects of books that I do love, which is like plots and fantasies, all that sort of thing. So that's why I didn't have a big thing, but rating. But it was a really good book, and it's a thought-provoking book, and I think everyone should read it if they haven't done. Then we're going on to the 4 stars, yeah. So The Plus One Pact by Portia McIntosh. This was the fake dating trope that I like. So basically, Cara officially runs out of men on her dating app. She finally found one last hope of a bloke, and so they arranged to meet her up. He stands her up, and literally she's at this place waiting for a good hour and no one turned up, but she was too, like, didn't want to admit that that happened. And then as, like, you know, it was getting really awkward, Joe Mills, or Millsy as he likes to be called, came along and said, he stood you up, I'm sorry to have a minute. And they ended up going out into a club, and between them they started talking and chatting and all this thing, and they formed a friendship. He decided, because Cara wanted to like have a little revamp, he helped to have this revamp, and as this all happened, they made a pact to be each other's +1s. And so they were pretending to, well no, they weren't actually pretending, they weren't pretending to date, because everyone knew they were just +1s, but they also had to sort of make it believable for like the events that they were going to. So if it was a wedding, things like that. But obviously as this is going on, the pair of them sort of start getting feelings, but neither really realising they're having feelings. And a moment happened more via Millsy's actions than Cara. Basically they kissed and they slept together, but everyone poofed in the air. I think Cara was so blinded by everything that she didn't think that Millsy actually felt anything for her, and so like she ran away. But it was an absolutely lovely book. The only issue which didn't give me the 5 stars was I could have done with a bit more. I could have done with an epilogue or a couple more chapters. It's just, I like books have epilogues and you know what happens afterwards. Like it ends on like a sort of happily ever after, but I wanted to see more. I wanted to know, you know, what happened a bit more, like even if it was like a couple months later or something. I wanted that extra bit. But it was a good, funny, and I loved banter between them, and I could not stop smiling. I read Scandalously Yours by Cara Elliott. This is a historical romance. It's basically not your normal historical romance, if I'm going to be totally honest. Apart from the era that it was in, it was just an outright sexy romance, in my opinion. It didn't have the ton, it didn't have the balls, it didn't have the courting like I like in Bridgerton and some of the other historical romances I've read. It was more, these two people meet and they sort of are drawn to each other because both of them are very blunt, they say it as it is. And obviously Olivia is a woman of the ton. She's meant to be like all the other women, like all like do dancing, have no opinion on things, because women back then aren't really allowed to, but she is what they call her the Helion of High Street, and she never has anyone interested in her purely because she just says it as she thinks and all that. And her and Earl of Wrexham John meet. He needs a wife because his wife died, and his son Prescott is very much he wants a mum, but he only wants a certain kind of mum, and he's been trying to, like, all these stepmoms that are coming into his life, he's like nope nope nope, and he's like has other minds to sort of ruin that. And he meets Olivia and he wants Olivia, and it's just sort of all of that. But it's Scandalously Yours purely because there are rules on here that you do not have sex until you are married, both parties, but mainly the women. And a pair of them, obviously the Earl is a divorcee, so you know that's not his fault, but Olivia isn't as if it's in this happy family she is. And like I said, Scandalously Yours because they aren't actually a couple, but they sort of have things. It was good. I just wanted, I wanted the ball, I wanted the courting and just all of that, because that's what I do enjoy, strangely enough, with the historical romance. And then I want to talk quickly about Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me by Marika Tamika and Rosemary Valerio O'Connell. This is a graphic novel. It's a sapphic graphic novel. It's a YA book. It was simple, it was easy. It was one of those books that just makes you smile, but it's also a really good book, I think, for teenagers. Like, I'm 30, you know, it doesn't really, wasn't probably appropriate to me now, but I think teenage me would really appreciate this. Like, yes, I'm a straight woman, but all the things that are approaching this can happen to either a straight or queer person, you know. It's basically Freddie is on and off relationship with Laura Dean. Laura Dean keeps breaking up with her, and it's been going on for about 4 times now, and she sort of does not want to know what to do. She doesn't want to keep going through the heartache. I think deep down she knows this is not right, but she seems to not be able to, like, just leave it, not go back to her and all that. So it's sort of a story about, you know, learning that, you know, sometimes loving someone and them loving you is not always right. And it was also about friendships. It was also about how blind you can be with love, because she kept taking Laura Dean back, but I think she sort of did not realise that her best friend, Doodle, her nickname, I think was in love with her. Like, it doesn't actually really, it doesn't give me any answer whether these two end up starting a relationship or not, but to me it seemed like there was a bit more than just a best friendship there, and Freddie was too blind to it. She forgot that, you know, friendships are just as important as a relationship with someone. It was just one of those feel-good books. There was a few times I got annoyed, especially with Laura Dean, because she needs some dating advice, seriously. But it was just one of those books that I think teenagers need, because they need, you know, it's just that right type of book to understand what love is, to understand that sometimes loving someone isn't always right, and sometimes you have to end that relationship for your health and everything. It was really good. I think it's a good book for, like, you know, older teens, whether they're straight or queer. It's just one of those books that just I think we all need to understand relationships a bit more. And then we're going to go and talk about my favourite books, which you should probably know, right? So From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and obviously Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. So I have not finished this yet, I'll be honest. I'm on page 26. No, I'm on chapter 26, page 369. So I'm over halfway. I have this much to read, but I know for well I'm going to finish this tonight because I'm obsessed. So I'm adding this on to my 9th book in here because I'm not far from finishing it. And, you know, if I started it probably last night, if I stayed up and kept reading it, then I would have finished it. But anyway, but From Blood and Ash, 5 stars. This is going to be a 5 stars too. Loved it. I'm not going to go into it because there's so many spoilery things and I do not want to spoil it for anyone. If you have not read this, you keep putting it off, or you want to read it but you haven't yet, please read it. Because it's amazing. I can see why everyone loves the series. I can see why everyone loves Poppy and Hawk. I am absolutely shipping for them. Poppy gives a lot of female protagonists in a lot of fantasy books a run for their money. Like, she is in par for me with Selena from Throne of Glass, and I've only read 1 book of that yet. She's in par of that, but I just love this book, absolutely everything about it. I love the originality, even though there was some bits that did scream ACOTAR to me, especially with the name Cass, which you would all know if you read it. There was some little bits that were very much ACOTAR, but I got past that because I love this book. And as we're going into this, it obviously starts straight from the ending. Absolutely love that too, because, you know, I don't like it when a book, like, you know, does a few months later and it literally carries on from the last plot twist. I'm loving this. I absolutely love this. I'm loving the relationship that is forming. I absolutely love Kieran. That is a new-ish character being joined in here, and other characters that are being mentioned. I just love this series. I do, and I can't wait for the 3rd book, because I know if there's going to be a 3rd book, this is going to end in some sort of thing. But yeah, so I read 9 books, guys, and it was an up and down ones. These are my absolute top 2, obviously, and I won't lie, I enjoyed this too. So they're probably my 3 that I really enjoyed and had fun with. But I had fun with this. You know, I absolutely feel quite good about myself, considering I haven't had much sleep like I usually do, but yeah, I had fun. I will probably do another 48-hour readathon at some point, but not straight away. But yeah, look for more 24-hour readathons because I am due some more later. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it with other people because we got to talk and we did some reading sprints that helped. And yeah, I'm actually happy with my achievement because I think 9 books in 48 hours is bloody brilliant. But yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you again soon. Take care and goodbye.